Hello everybody, Skin Deep Beauty Vlogger here. I hope you're all really well. I haven't filmed a celebrity makeup tutorial for quite some time, but I was really wanting to film one, and then I picked up the latest edition of Elle UK. This is the December issue, and I saw that Emma Watson was on the front talking about her sort of UN speech that she's recently made, caused quite a buzz, and the look really appealed to me because it's a very fresh-faced, natural look, great for every day, and I thought that I would do a tutorial based on it. It's not an exact replica. This was created using Temp 2 airbrush products with a couple of Lancome products for the eyes. I don't have a Temp 2 airbrush system, so I just use some of my favourite products, all of which will be in the description bar below. But I just felt like it was a little bit different for this time of year, and a really nice, fresh-faced, everyday look. I really like Emma Watson anyway. I haven't really seen many of her films, but I think she always looks incredible and a really great sort of natural beauty inspiration. So if you'd like to see how to recreate this look, then just keep on watching. I really hope you like it. Okay, so I've scraped my hair back and I've zoomed in a little bit. As you can see in the photo, Emma's makeup is very natural, there's not too much of a heavy base, so I'm just going to start off by applying some of the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation, and I've already prepped my skin using my usual skincare routine and applied a little bit of the Rimmel Fix and Perfect Pro Primer 002. So I'm going to be applying the foundation using a Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. So I'm just going to spritz this with a bit of water, as I always do when I'm applying my foundation. I just find that it gives a bit of a fresher look. And I'm going to take some on the back of my hand, not too much, and work it into the skin. I tend to start at the bottom of my face. Most people start in the centre, but the bottom of my face is where I have my problem areas. It's a really good drugstore foundation. And you just want to apply it to even out the skin tone. Excuse me looking down, my mirror is just in front of me. Next, to go in with concealer, I'm going to be using my favourite concealer, which is the Kat Von D Locket Tattoo Concealer. Just use this wherever you need. And I like to use this with my fingers. You can use whichever is your favourite concealer. I find that the warmth of my fingers helps to sort of blend it into the skin. You don't want this look to be cakey because, as I said, Emma's makeup is very natural, but she's also blessed with very good skin, so obviously cover up where needed. Now, my real problem area is my under eyes at the moment, but before I tackle those, I'm going to put a little bit of my very old Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion on. I put this onto the lids. I just use it directly using the doe foot applicator, and I also apply it a little bit underneath where I'm going to put my concealer, because I find that it helps prevent creasing. It's now presented in a tube, but I like this primer so much that I stocked up a lot, which is why I'm still going through my old backups. I haven't experienced any problems, so hopefully it's okay. I just blend this in with my ring finger. Dark under eye circles are a bit of a problem for me, so I'm going to go in with my Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. This is my favourite under eye concealer. I find it to be very brightening, and it's a nice opaque formula that works really well to cover dark circles. So I'm going to use quite a bit just to really freshen up that eye area. I'm taking it sort of into the inner corner as well. Again, just blending with my fingers. I've done a whole routine on sort of how I disguise under eye circles, so I'll link that below. Doesn't that look instantly better? Right, next I'm going to tackle brows. Now, Emma's brows are quite full, naturally very youthful. They're quite dark, and they're also sort of spiked up towards the middle, so I'm going to try and recreate that. Now, I'm going to be using the Benefit Browzings palette in dark, which I'm a little concerned may be too dark, but I'm just going to give it a go. And I'm going to be using the Bare Escentuals Brow Brush, which I really like. It's just a small, quite a stiff bristled brush. But before I do anything like that, I'm going to just work through my brows with a spoolie, just to make sure they're all going in one direction. And I'm not going to sort of place the hairs just yet in the way that Emma has. Probably just going to go in with the powder from this as opposed to the powder on the wax. It's quite warm toned actually. And I'm just working this through the brows in very light brush strokes. This is probably the most done part of the look, and it's only because her brows are naturally quite dark. They're also quite a bit straighter than mine, so I'm going to try and just get rid of my natural arch a little bit. And I tend to always keep the brow products on the outer edge as opposed to the inner corners. But I will put a little bit there, just because we are going to be spiking it up there. But I'm not going in with sort of a freshly powdered brush there, I'm just using what's left on the brush. So once I've filled those in, I'm going to go back in with my spoolie and just sort of try and work the shape a little bit. So trying to straighten out my arch. I don't really tend to use brow gel, but you could if you want. And then I'm just going to sort of spike up the ends to try and replicate the look that she's got. Now my brows are quite long, and people have suggested before that I cut them, and I'm just terrified of doing that, so can't spike them up quite so much as she's done. So next up I'm going to go in on the eyes, and I'm going to start off by lining the eyes with a nude eyeliner, and my Rimmel eyeliner is very well loved. This is the Scandaleyes in Nude, and I'm just going to pop this in the waterline. You can definitely tell that Emma's got a flesh coloured eyeliner in her waterline. I'm also going to curl the lashes now. I just want to put a little bit of matte highlight underneath the brows, so I'm going to be using the Lorac Pro palette, just the original one. Unfortunately I could not get my hands on the Mega Pro, and I'm just going to take the matte cream shade from the top row, and I'm just going to pop that just directly under the brow, just to sort of sharpen it up and give a bit of a natural highlight. It's very soft, very subtle, and it's certainly not shimmery as it's from the matte row. Just taking a little bit, and I'm then going to apply the shadow all over the lids. Now her eyeshadow looks extremely natural, so I'm just going to be using the shade MAC Quarry, which you don't actually know that I've bought as yet because I haven't done my haul. I've been filming a lot of hauls lately, and I just haven't uploaded that one because I didn't want to overwhelm you. I'm just going to take this very softly all over the lid, and I'm using the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush. If you've got smaller eyes than me, then I'd go in with something a little bit smaller, but I just felt like this would work quite well for giving that sort of wash of colour, and it would help me to blend whilst I applied. Just really wanted it to be very natural. I didn't want a sort of flat shadow brush that would press the shadow on too much. I'm not too sure when I'm going to upload that MAC haul, but might not be for a while because I'm a bit concerned that you're going to get sick of my hauls. The next video I'm doing is a Makeup Forever haul from iMat's weekend, which is belated, but hopefully you'll enjoy it nonetheless. And I'm just sort of working that back and forth in a windscreen wiper motion to blend through the crease. And I'm not doing anything sort of winged, I've just applied that over the movable part of the lid and then blended it out. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Brow Brush, which I like because it's a nice angled brush, to apply the eyeliner, but rather than using a classic eyeliner, I'm going to be using another shade from the Lorac Pro palette, and this is the shade Espresso, which is a really nice matte chocolate. A little goes a long way with these shadows, they're extremely pigmented. So I'm going to take it a little bit onto the back of my hand. And I'm just going to apply that as I would an eyeliner along the top lash line. And the reason I wanted to use eyeshadow rather than liner was to give a softer look. Trying to get as close to the lashes as possible. all the way across, and I'm just doing it a little bit deeper on the outside corner, just because Emma has as well. And I'm also going to take that underneath as well. But I'm really still sticking to applying it close to the lash line along the bottom. And I'm only applying it to the outer edge on the bottom lash line. Emma has got a little bit of brightening eyeshadow on the inner corner, so I'm going to be using one of my favourites, which is MAC Naked Lunch. And I'm actually just going to take this on my pinky finger and dot it directly into my tear duct area, just like that. It is quite shimmery, so I do think that this bit does take away a little bit from the natural look. So if you don't like this sort of shiny effect, then just skip this bit or use a sort of dulled down version of this shadow. Next, mascara. Now Emma has used the Lancome mascara. She is of course the face of Lancome, or at least she used to be. I'm not sure if she still is. I don't have a Lancome mascara in my collection, weirdly, because I've got a lot of mascaras. So I'm going to be using my favourite Maybelline Falsies Flared, and I'm just going to really sort of give a nice natural fluttery lash, which is what she's got as well. And if you want, you can take the smallest amount on the bottom lashes. I wouldn't go too crazy though, but just to give a little bit of definition where you've put the shadow. Now that the eyes are done, I'm going to go back into the skin, and Emma's freckles are really showing through in this look. So if you want to, and this is quite a summery thing I feel, you could draw in some freckles. So I'm going to do that using the MAC brow pencil in Lingering. I'm just going to warm that up on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to put little dots, just a few, and then once I've put the dot on my skin, I'm going to place the finger over the top just to blend them in with the warmth of my finger. This really adds to the youthful look. I have to say, I never really draw in freckles, but I do think it's quite cute. Very fresh-faced. I'm just putting these sort of where they would naturally occur, just sort of splattering across the nose and onto the cheeks. I don't even know if it's going to show up on camera, to be honest. Oops. I have no idea if you can see that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of blush on, but before I do that I'm going to go in with a powder just because I'm combining textures. So the powder I'm going to use is the Revlon Nearly Naked, just because I quite like it and it gives a fairly natural finish, and I'm using a Sigma large powder brush. You can tell that this is well loved. One, the packaging is broken and there's hardly any left, so it really is going to be a subtle powder through the centre of my face, and just a little bit where I'm going to be applying the blush, purely to stop the different formulas interacting with each other. She's got the lightest hint of Pinky Peach blush, probably more pinky actually, just on the, not even on the apples of her cheeks, just a little bit further back. So I'm going to be using, I'm going to use Physicians Formula in Rose, the Happy Booster one. I think this is really cute. Again, just using a Sigma brush. This is not sponsored by Sigma. I'm just using my Sigma brushes a lot today. Just using that sort of, well, you can see where I'm applying it, just on the top outer edges of my cheeks. And I'm not contouring. It doesn't look like she's got a very contoured look. Maybe there's a little bit of blusher on the, a little bit of bronzer sort of on the upper parts of her cheeks, but I'm kind of achieving that with the blush. I don't really want this to be a, you know, heavy sort of Kim Kardashian style contoured look. So that's why I'm just contouring almost with my blusher as I apply it. And then lastly, she's got quite a matte look by the looks of things on her lips, sort of very natural pinky shade. So I'm going to be using one of my favourite natural pinky shades, which is the Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stain in the shade Honey. Quite a well loved one. So I'm going to just pop this onto my lips. And I'm actually just going to press that in with my fingers, just to really give it a natural finish. And that's the finished look. I really hope that you like it. I'm not too sure how much I look like Emma Watson by any means, actually. I don't think I look like her at all. But as you can see, it's just a look that's inspired by her. I thought it was a little bit different this time of year. There seem to be a lot of berry lip tutorials around, which I love that look. But I just thought this was a little bit different. So I really hope you like it. Do subscribe if you enjoyed. If you're not already subscribed, and give it a thumbs up. And if there's any other celebrity tutorials you'd like me to do or other makeup looks, then do pop a comment below. As I said, my next video is going to be a Makeup Forever haul, so I really hope that you enjoy that. Do stay tuned for it, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!